God, family, church. I cannot operate outside that. Do you understand? I love my church. I serve my church. My family comes first. God comes first. Do you understand what I mean? You could have knee party with some decorum. Don't be uncouth. Don't put this woman down or these children down.
But is the problem not church? Is the church not a problem here?
Church of who?
Church as an institution.
Of who?
As an institution.
Of who?
Of people, humanity.
Thank you. You are not mentioning the Church of Christ. Because the true Church of Christ.
You did, I'm a bishop.
Yeah.
Where you sat down.
The true Church of Christ.
You sat down with the bishops.
Yes. Yes.
And horrible things
yes.
that are happening within the church. I'm saying.
Yes, I hear what you're saying,
it's not the time now that we challenge this institution. In this life, you will receive a body. You may like it or hate it, but one thing certain is that it will be yours for your entire period here on earth. In this life, you will have lessons to learn because life is a full-time school. There are lessons that you may like or not like because each day provides you an opportunity to learn something. So whether you like the lessons or not, it doesn't matter. But the truth is you will learn lessons. In this life, there are no mistakes, but only lessons. Those things that we consider mistakes are in fact the lessons. Because what is more important is that life is a process of trial and error. And the pain of the failed experiments in our lives are as much important as the one that we consider the most successful moments in our lives. So, ladies and gentlemen, learning lessons does not end. As long as you are still alive, you are going to learn lessons. It's such a great pleasure and a great honor today that I get to sit with one of the men that I have admired for such a long time. And I still admire even today.
Thank you.
He's a legend, he's an icon, the legendary TV host and an actor. That Nimrod Nkosi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Samex, man. What a beautiful introduction. It is true about life, my friend. It is true. For as long as you live, and as long as you strive to learn from the previous mistake, it can only get better as you go along. Perhaps not to your liking or to your better, but it can only get better because progression is the ultimate, isn't it?
Absolutely.
ngesizulu asifuna ukuqhwandela emuva nje. Sifuna ukuya phambili.
Ka Setswana ba re sa hatela ko morago ka dikoko.
Go jwalo. And so when you learn these lessons, they're very, very good, but also you don't weaponize the lessons, especially if you come from a harsh environment where you have to learn a harsh lesson.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can be dangerous because then you want to impose them on other people so that they can feel the pain that you have felt before. The lesson is supposed to say, do not inflict the same pain. You know,
powerful stuff. You're looking good, sir. You have been doing this for a very long time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I am feeling healthy. I am feeling tremendously blessed by the Almighty. I'm happy. I'm optimistic that, our children will live in a world that is fair, in a world that is fair in terms of competitiveness, in a world where technology will be beautiful and not used harmfully. I'm aware that there are people who are working like yourselves day and night to highlight issues that hit our community hard as well. I hope that my child will live in that world, where there's accountability from all forms of life.
How many years now?
In television?
Yeah.
in television could be 32 years.
Mm.
Yeah.
I want to go straight into it. What sort of discipline is required for you to be at the top of your game for such a long time? Ever since I have known you, you've been at the top of your game. Whether it being a host of a TV show or as an actor, you've always been at the top. What discipline does it take for one to be up there?
To make it your life's mission to kill your ego. That is the first thing you need to do, because that is the first thing in the industry that we are in that is invoked. It is your ego. It is your sense of success. It is your sense of, I have made it. You know, and if you don't keep that ego in check, it will ruin you. Right?
Yeah.
So that is the discipline. The discipline is to say to the ego inside, you sit where you are. You are in a jail with the titans closed by Zeus. You are not coming out. But what's going to be here will be a beautiful spirit of creativity, a spirit of discipline, a spirit of preparedness, a spirit of hard working, a spirit that will be solution driven, a spirit that will be giving to other people, a spirit that have responsibility at the height of your success, a spirit of your values, of your father, your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother, your great-great-grandmother, that you will know that it is for them that you are even sitting on this seat right now. If you can have that sense of higher thinking, of higher frequency, and try and go back to the family tree as you can and say, I am not going to be the one that's going to destroy it. Then that discipline, you know, permeates through the things you do. I come to work early. I come prepared. I know my lines. I can talk to a person decently. I can talk to a person with respect, whether they clean or whether they're fourth AD or what have you. I can talk to that person. I can talk to Mama Kostate. I can do all of these things. I can be disciplined in my faith as well. When I'm angry, when I'm hurt, when I know people are coming for me, I'm being cheated out of this deal. I'm being kicked out of this deal. I'm able to zone in and close everything with me that says revenge is your only way to go through this. And I can quiet that spirit and say, no, mercy and goodness is what will get us through Nimrod this day.
You remind me of one of the beautiful lines from one of the greatest authors I came across, Khalil Gibran.
Yeah.
He says, when you do your work with love, it is knowing that all the blessed dead are standing about you and watching.
Come on. You see, don't start nothing. You see, you're starting something now, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's talk about the ego.
Yes.
In a natural progression of the work that you do,
Yeah.
you get attention, you get spotlight, your life changes. What is this ego? Because some people don't see it. It creeps into small little things that you say, people at my level behaves like this, move like this. How does it creep in? What is this ego that we may not even see or categorize as ego?
Absolutely. Now we're going philosophical about it, but what a brilliant question. It can be mystifying, this ego, but it is there. It is a sense of a spirit that articulates or show itself, but it is fed by the external. So you decide what you feed that ego, you know, that feeling in you. The ancient used to say there are two wolves within us. There is a bad and a good wolf. And when the son asks which wolf will eventually win the fight, it is the wolf that you feed. You know,
Yeah, the one that will win the
the
fight.
one that will win the
Yeah.
fight, it will be the wolf that you feed. So if your ego is that wolf that will tear you apart, then you must feed the humility in you. Starve the ego as much as you can. Testosterone, Leona thrives with the ego. They are partners. You know what I'm saying? But also, you need to have something that you believe in.
Yeah.
You know, that will help you, that will assist you. For my sake, I'm a Christian and I believe in God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
And when God said, the Holy Spirit of God shall guide you into any decision that you take, then when the ego comes of the flesh, then I send the Spirit and I said, quiet this person down. Otherwise, I would have been finished like many of my brothers that were finished at the sight of fame, at the sight of adulation, at the sight of being loved, at the sight of getting free gifts, at the sight of being invited to glistening events, you know, and by all means, people can go to that. But Nimrod Nkosi had decided long ago that this is not how I was built to use this platform. Because if I get into that territory, it's a territory I do not know.
Yeah.
Believe me, there are brothers who know, who live this territory, bruh. There are ladies who know, who live this territory, who manipulate it according to their wants. It's their game. It's who they are. That's not who I am. Therefore, you release and expel and extricate from you the fear of being you.
Wow. You talk about discipline from the values that you need to have as a human being. Would you kindly comment on this discipline when we match the values that you're talking about, that you need to have certain values, know who you are, where you're coming from, and what you stand for, with the work ethic? When they combine, what do they give you? Do they contribute to the highest level of discipline? I mean, the way you've been at the top of your game, it's like Cristiano Ronaldo. To be honest, that's what I see.
Yeah.
When I look at your career, when I look at the passion that you still exude, it can't be by fault, it can't be by chance. There's science into it. Can you comment on the work ethic when it meets the values that you live by?
I think you have inevitably, well, or unwittingly answered yourself, because that's what it is, isn't it? You have those values, and when they meet, the gift prospers better when you have those values. Time is a very serious value to me. That's why I came here early. That's why I came here early. Because time is such an important value to me. Because not only do I view it as I have to be at an interview or at a shoot at this time, but I view it as a commodity that exists without my permission. I live in an era that is different. There have been eras, AD, you can go back. I get to live in this era. So time for me is very, very important. One moment you're asleep, you wake up, Presley is not there. You know what I mean? That's time. And I value that, so that when I'm on time, I know that I've prepared myself. I'm ready to deliver what the client wants me to deliver. If I come in earlier, 2 hours earlier, I familiarize myself with the room. I walk the room. I ask where the chairman will be sitting. I ask where the demographics of this group. I walk that room 2 hours. You know, I've prepped my notes the day before my opening speech. I've done everything, and I'm just an MC. But the things I'll be throwing, those are things I'll be throwing by time and timing, so that my timing is right as well. You do an investigation of the CEO, people will know not to make jokes about him. But if you use a good thing in a good timing in a program, he might laugh and say, Nimrod, come on, don't start with me. Well, why are you doing that? And then people will see a smile from a man who ordinarily does not smile. The values of treating people, setting, those are human values. Ubuntu lobo. Yabon? Ubuntu lobo osaphiwa by God, that a human being needs to be treated in a certain way for them to act in their optimum level. Now, when you kill certain aspects that help the human being to excel, when you say action, you've already destroyed them by putting things before that demoralized them. The way you answer them, positional supremacy, ego again, comes in. How you speak to people. You're my boss, but I'm a human being. I feel, I have a spirit, I have a feeling. Is it your inadequacy to express yourself properly than to yell at me? You couldn't find any other way? Because when you do that, the wolf inside says, I told you, let me out, tell this man where to get off. But the humility in me, the words come out, believe me, you will hear I've put you in your place. In good English, nangesizulu, you will never mess with me again.
Wow. In your over 3 decades of excellence as an actor and a TV host, what is it that you say, I have seen this destroying many artists? You've worked with many. And you say this, and I'm asking this because I want a young person who's watching this program to guard against that. You've seen so many people fall by the wayside because of this 1 or 2 things.
I have made it syndrome. Has destroyed many people. You cannot control. You could be the it thing. You could be the it thing. But there's always a it thing behind you, behind it, where you are rendered superfluous. When you are rendered, oh no, he's done. Right? So how you ascend, your ascension is very, very critical. Your ascension into this thing. Because on its own, it's a blessing. You've been praying for it. You've been fighting for it, and now you got it. The adulation is coming. This is coming. Beware then, my friend, that as much as you rise and the sun is rising with you, the darkness must equal that. It wants you there as well, to introduce you into other things that you do not know. And therefore you dim the light as the darkness becomes exponentially bigger than the light that you came with. The light is there, but the darkness grows. It shows you things. Now you begin to have attitude. When you wanted this thing, you were early. When you wanted this thing, you were respectful. Branims, how are you? When they sent you to get your costume, you went. And now you've got this thing. And you think you're a god of it. And there are people around you that nurture you. Wabon. And you rise as this demigod and a false god of your own ego. And you think you control all of these things. All of a sudden, you are coming late. All of a sudden, you have attitude. All of a sudden, the food is not nice. All of a sudden, I don't want to work with this actor. All of a sudden, don't look at me like that. All of a sudden, this is how I'm going to say my lines. But I'm not going to give you that line. So. No, but if I don't feel not so, but when you throw it away, it doesn't affect my character. Then my character cannot cry. No, well, regarding hey, I've got this appointment, man. I gotta meet this someone. I gotta do that. I gotta do that. Those the gods want to destroy, they first make mad.
Those the
gods want to destroy, they first make mad. Part of the madness is depriving you of common sense. That's the madness. In your world, you think you the in thing. You the thing. The gods have let you be. They take away common sense. They've put your neck and let you do what you want. When your destruction is near, they remove themselves and you will see the apocalypse right in front of you.
Wow.
So I've seen people do that. I've seen people mess with drugs in my life. You know what I mean? I've seen singers. I've seen Machita Rehola messing Nenzango, Coke Haikena, messing with crystal meth. We've seen those people. Now, women also messing with women because they are the highest drug. If you know what I mean.
100%.
They are the highest drug. It's the gold, it's the glory, it's the girls. You understand? So I've seen people get messed up in that way. And here you are, back to your question of values. Then what do you do when you want to do these things? But you remember, Nam Nimrod, I'm carved from a different sword.
Branims, every show, whether you were acting or you were hosting, it became the best.
Thank you.
The Lotto show that you did was a household name. You were the soundtrack.
Yes.
Of that thing. You were known as a Lotto man.
It's beautiful.
All the shows. I mean, I was shocked last time seeing a clip ya HaaK Medzingubane.
Yes.
Get a flip. That's how far back he has been doing this.
Absolutely.
You went to Utatako.
Yes.
The aura that you bring there.
Yes.
The sensitivity. The respect. You feel it through your screen. That this man is vibrating at the level of those people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Does it speak to all the things that you've been sharing with us? How you are able to internalize, personalize, and execute with the highest glory?
Absolutely. Because then you mentioned Otatago. What is the premise there? You are dealing with delivering an envelope that will either confirm that this is your father or not. What does that mean to you as a presenter? Then you have to come out of yourself and look at the family and its tree, right? And look back into its ancestry and come to this person who today can be called Kgoroeadira. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
If your imagination stretches back to the elders that are waiting in this day and age, is this the bone of our bones or not? If you don't have that concept of going back, visualizing them, waiting as well to hear, is this the bone of our bone or not? You know, or is this it? Nimrod has just dragged us a bone of our bone because he doesn't want to be responsible. That's why it is an insult. That's why in many cultures, then there is a cleansing ceremony when you are wrong and called the child not yours and is yours. You must cleanse them because it's an insult, because they would have known.
Yeah.
mawuhlwanyela ukuthi owethu
Exactly.
but wena uwabeke kuwe uthawakho. You understand what I'm saying? So when you get in there, you cannot get in there and just be, sanibonani sesifikile sabotatako sizochecka ukuthi enhle kubani olale nobani lana makhinja sikushubile makhinja izinto ziyabheda manje. This is not who I am. This is not how I asked for the gift. So before I get in, then I kneel down and I say, please open my mind. Please give me wisdom. Please give me the wisdom to see who is lying, to see who is telling the truth, to see who is afraid of saying something. Give me the wisdom to let the person who talks too much in the room to tie themselves with the rope of lies. You know? So when I come in there, I assume a different personality.
Yeah.
I recognize the cultural imperatives. This is not my house. I don't know who speaks in this house. I don't know the incantations that they do in this house. I don't know amasigabo in this house. And then I come as this entity. I must be fully armed, as Ephesians 6:13 say. You know, I must be fully armed, so that when I get there as a soldier, the truth, the helmet of truth is there.
Through utatako, what have you learned about us human beings?
I have learned we can hurt each other. I have truly learned the depths at which we can hurt each other. I have learned that though meant in a particular way, a noble way, secrets cannot be kept when it comes to an individual created by God who needs to live confidently in this world as they try to define themselves. And they first define themselves with who they are. If you're going to keep that secret from me, the more you keep it, the more you're wasting time for me to find the right root, the right tree where I come from. I've learned that people are vengeful. I've learned people that use themselves as carriers of evil by whispering to a child to say, "Azasuba bakho lo. Manje ungathi ngokutshelile. Maro antu uyakuthanda yeso. Thina sakuthanda njalo." Once you have whispered that into the child, it's not coming out of them. You have created now a thing that needs to be followed.
Yeah. I'm passing through utatako, but I guess it is the most emotional, heart-hitting shows that we've ever seen in our screens. Now, with your experience in that show, would you say we are being too harsh on this generation? When you look at most of the people who came to the show were elders, are people now who are in their 60s, but the mistakes, in inverted commas, the secrets that you're talking about, are we being too harsh on this generation in their intersections, in their sexual, how they handle issues of sexuality and relationships? Are we being too harsh on this generation because of social media? We are seeing them, but this thing has been happening even in the past generations, like we saw most of the people who came to Utatako.
I think if we give ourselves to analyze the situation, we are too quick to speak. That's why one of my philosophies is think loudly, speak softly. There are people who are entitled to their opinions, as they would say, without even applying their minds, you know, or challenging your mind to a simple solution. Come with a myriad of solutions or opportunities of why or how could this guy, this woman get to this position without having to immediately impose your will on them. Who are you? Who are you? Are you a god? Are you a deity? Who gave you the permission to espouse that about them? Were you there? Wouldn't you be inquisitive, at least challenge yourself to go back to the 80s, go back to the 90s, look at the sexual behavior of people there, go back to the 70s, look at the sexual behavior, go back to the 60s, look at the sexual behavior, go back to the 50s, look at the sexual behavior, go back to the 40s, look back at the sexual behavior. That informs your present opinion. Do you understand?
100%.
Because then if you go back to the 30s, then you have to include the system and the regime that was running there. Then it forces you to look at those issues and then look at the undeveloped man who at Albert Street is called a boy by a 11-year-old African racist who has to come home fractured, ne? And be violent, and who feels, you don't understand me, and then I'm going to sleep there, over there. They will lose women then. You know what I mean? And then your nucleus, your family, is the one that is suffering. And then years later, this catches up with you. You know what I'm saying? So if we look at that generation, let us not be too harsh. But because the system of television is designed to edit for your feelings and to get exactly what you are saying, it is edited for that. And if I might digress, when I did Isencane Lengane, people say, no, but why didn't you ask this? Why didn't you ask that? You must sit sometimes and come down and say, this is Pranem's. Surely you could have answered this. Or asked this. Television ga editor. A television is about emotion. A television, if you invoke this, what are they invoking in me? They're invoking an uninformed opinion and an emotion that is unguided and an emotion that is wrong. Perhaps this, perhaps that, perhaps the other. Then that's how you are a thinker. You understand what I'm saying?
100%,
That's how you open the other dimension of your thinking. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you look at that boy, when he was sitting next to me, he didn't do anything. Because he understood the type of man that I was.
And that point drives me to the next point, that there's a popular opinion that says the current generation's morality is in decay. What are your thoughts?
It's challenges, man. It's challenges. You and I have established two forces that are at play here. We have established that there are two forces that are at play.
Which one do you feed?
The force of darkness is not something to be trifled with. It is subtle. It is suggestive. It glorifies you. It raises you. It encourages you. It validates you also. The force of darkness, just like the force of light, will validate you, affirm you in a way to be stronger than the force of evil will be. So our kids are right in the mixture of that. They are ripe for consumption.
But is the society feeding this force of darkness? Are we trading on that as a society right now?
As a society, we are trying to say, Baphi abazali of the 80s, of the 90s, You know what I'm saying? Because as time evolved, laws evolved, and those laws gave a different thing to a society that grew of young people. You cannot say put Nimrod to me, you know. Angeke ngishaye ngikhuzwe ubaba wase next door. You're not my father. Situation. You know what I'm saying? Mind your own business. When you see a young man atlapa a young lady outside UJ, when as a hotman, you keep and you keep quiet because a hotman ongena lenta but joking up when you know all of a sudden you're tussling with this student guy and everything. All of a sudden you've got a student organization that wants your blood right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you want to pass so that you don't become a victim of any type of violence. You know what I'm saying? So the society, who is the society? Is it our elders? Is it our mothers? Who is then the society that is here, that is supposed to be helping this community of children? To say it's okay, you're living in the golden age of technology, in the golden age of money, you're living in the golden age of Dubai. You know, you can decide to go to Dubai today, to Tanzania. You can go to Runa. We did not have those aspirations. We read about it, and Prasipo Mabuse sang about beautiful mountains of Zanzibar, Zanzibar. And then you have the image of it. But what are we doing then as the elders now, who are the new adults? Because our parents are dying. Our uncles are going to die. Our grandfathers are going to die. That generation is going to die. And then it's going to be us. Then how are we then mitigating things where we say to these kids, listen, when it's our time to go, we need to leave you strong. And now they're in a predicament. There's human trafficking. Men are evil. Humankind is evil. There are women, when I was looking at the Omotoso trial, there are women who were used to lure girls to investigate if those girls had no father figure in their lives. And they come to court, they're babina, they're dancing. This is where the arrogance of the devil showcases himself. You know what I'm saying? Because a mother is supposed to be the nurturer. Take the child to the shelter. Which man sits with 10 young children in his room? Which man does that? And then we sit and we keep quiet. And this is the fear. And I dare say, and to be quoted by prominent pastors, at the advent of that thing when it happened, no one talked. Rona, we talked on your late mate. Nah. We talked on my bishop. Nto ya go jisa batho dinoga must come to an end. Nto ya go jisa batho bojwang must come to an end. But now I'm going to defend libandla laka. Ke ska interrupta semex ka libandla laka ya kan romela ka batho ba gagwe. You know?
Do you feel, especially in the example of the Omotoso example, which is a reflection of the society that we are, do you feel that the society could have responded differently?
We could have. Look, some things are done through technology. We send our regards, we type, we say we are against because we can't get to Gqeberha. You know, we can only write a message and say, we are there with you. May God strengthen you. When that girl was giving, that lady was giving a testimony, we pray that you do. And the man came, you know, ever so flamboyant, ever so smiling, and ever so doing this and the other. And where you should be really sitting down, chilling, looking at that situation, at least is at least you know what I mean. But you're coming, you're laughing at this person because Moyo Mubi is like that.
Were you disappointed that most of the people who supported Pastor Omotoso outside the court chanting were women?
Oh yes, I was very, very disappointed. But this is what you must know. The fact of the matter is, and I've said this before, And you know, I want you not to have the spirit of fear of what God has put in you. For years, I used to be afraid to say what God says I must say. I'm a different man now. You hear it in my speech. You hear it in my presence. I'm a different man because I fear no man. You understand what I'm saying? You have people who will not cry in their yards to the Lord or to their ancestors, if you have to, and say, we are hungry. But you have people who sleep on streets and cry for a man who has no relation to them. If you can track Kgoroeadira Nkosi Dlamini ohlubula dlele sanobamba sethi sibedlukutela sibedlela akangendawo, but niyajiva. But if your man were to go through hard times, the first thing you're going to do is to chastise him. But here's a man that you do not know. You know why? Because some of the church leaders who are men have told themselves that there's only one man that must be glorified. We're going to take this Jesus and put him here. See me as the man that will deliver you.
And even with the Omotoso, and I keep on going back there because it's a reflection of who we are as a society. It's the mirror. It gives us an opportunity to look at ourselves as a society. And you're rightfully saying, even men didn't take their rightful as fathers. Who've got daughters, who've got wives, you know, who've got mothers, didn't take the stand and say, as men, we cannot allow this to happen.
God, family, church. I cannot operate outside that. Do you understand? I love my church. I serve my church. My family comes first. God comes first. Do you understand what I mean? You could have knee parted with some decorum. Don't be uncouth. Don't put this woman down or these children down.
But is the problem not church? Is the church not a problem here?
Church of who?
Church as an institution.
Of who?
As an institution.
Of who?
Of people, humanity.
Thank you. You are not mentioning the Church of Christ. Because the true Church of Christ.
You did, I'm a bishop.
Yeah.
Sat down.
The true Church of Christ.
You sat down with the bishops.
Yes. Yes.
And horrible things that are happening within the church. I'm saying,
yes, I hear what you're saying.
It's not the time now that we challenge this institution, church of people, like you say, or maybe distinguish between.
Thank you.
Yeah,
you've come up with a beautiful word that leaves us at least on even ground.
Yeah,
distinguish. And how then do you distinguish? You understand?
Yeah.
The burden of distinguishing is on you. The burden of distinguishing is on you. You've got ears, you've got eyes, you've got a mind, you've got a book you can read. The man said, the same spirit that woke up my son is in you. Yeah. If you want to interrogate something, interrogate it within me. He even says to you, come to my throne and let me speak to you. But we have surrendered power, to different people.
To men, yeah.
To men and women. We've surrendered it. We've surrendered it. When now you no longer go to your own room, read the scripture, ask the Lord, because the Lord to you is a mythical figure, only brought to life by when you go to church. By this man, by this woman. But the divinity is in you.
What made people to lose that? It should be common sense, but what has made humanity to lose that?
Who is the father of lies? Who is the father of lies? Who stands to benefit in human ignorance? Who? Who benefits in wars? Who benefits in churches that exploit people? Who benefits?
This other force.
It's the dark force that benefits.
All right. There's a beautiful book I read many years back by Frantz Fanon. It's called The Wretched of the Earth, but there's a chapter specifically, The Pitfalls of National Consciousness.
Phew.
You are speaking about the consciousness of people. Before we went live, you mentioned the influence that Tupac, Dr. Dre, and other people have had on you.
Yes.
Who have helped you to build such a high level of consciousness. But not only them, you mentioned many spiritual heritages.
Yes.
Across the world. Can you please take us, particularly the story of HaaK, how HaaK has influenced your life?
HaaK was amazing for me. HaaK, you must remember, his mother was with the Black Panthers. So HaaK was a different rapper. That's why he was slightly above in terms of messaging, because he saw societal issues through rap music. You understand what I'm saying? He wanted to change the society. Some rappers want to live in a society of convenience and pleasure and cars. They don't owe even their community any growth. HaaK was different. You know what I'm saying? He wanted change. He showed change. HaaK at some point sees a black man being beaten by cops, a man he does not know. This is the superstar Amaru Shakur, who gets out of this car, beats the cop. He has nothing to do with this fight.
Yes, yeah.
But he beats the cop because the cop is beating his brother. You know, he goes to jail, and then we find out, no, uPhako belela lo muntu lona. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you go to him and his lyrics. I mean, he went through his own mental things, HaaK. When you listen to So Many Tears, No Memory, Just a Misery, painting the picture of my enemies, killing me, in my sleep, will I survive to see the morning? Forgive me, Lord, for I come. You know what I'm saying? He had his moments of mental illness. DMX, the prayer that he says before he dies with DMX, he says, Lord, help me, I'm lost. But the people around are so damned. They're not listening to a man that's about to die 2-3 weeks down the line. You know what I'm saying? When he says to live is to suffer, to survive, well, that's to find the meaning in the suffering. I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get out. All these artists had all of these things in them, and we were listening to those things. We had consciousness from E40, a little bit of E40. KRS-One came up with that rap consciousness. EPMD came up with that consciousness of societal consciousness. So that make money, but don't forget that actually it's the advancements of our people that is very, very important. Through this podcast is the advancement of our people, so that they hear these things and consume them and think about them. Dr. Dre sat and prepared music. Without Dr. Dre, there's no Bulldogs Entertainment. Without my influence, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
There's no Bulldogs, there's no Zambia, there's no Msawawa, there's no Mshoza. Because here was Dr. Dre, you know, when he releases the Chronic, the first Chronic. I mean, come on. You know, I visualize myself in the studio. I visualized coming. That's why when you listen to our music, it has a bit of ad-libs, sound effects, because I took from Dre. You know what I'm saying? And when Zambia crossed our paths on Jam Alley, and when he did his freestyling, then I said, Nazo, say Khalil, that's the next Kwaito star.
You are a mega hyper superstar. I even forgot that you did Jam Alley.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I did.
Now, you're talking about the Tupac consciousness.
Yes.
Does this generation have another symbol of that consciousness? HaaK did it for that generation,
Yeah.
and blessed are the younger ones who will go back and tap
Yeah.
into that consciousness. Do we have other symbols? Do we have other towers, other models that we can look up to in the absence of HaaK?
Sure. Well, across the Atlantic, Kendrick.
Underrated?
I don't think Kendrick is underrated. I don't think Kendrick is underrated. I think Kendrick is Kendrick Liena. Can't
Yeah.
just play along. Kendrick Lamar at the Grammys, where's the chain gang? Tsako, when the white people held black people. For the first time, we see an artist, agqokile, abonisa ukuthi this is how you treated our people. You understand what I'm saying? There are many men, even Kimang or the Dreadlocks. He had a beef in the meantime, Arico Stadium. No, let's stop the beef. Joe Cole. And people laughed at Joe Cole instead of tapping into what Cole was saying. But because we are so caught up in that violence, we don't hear how Joe Cole has just risen up and say, no, I'm sorry, man, I started this. This is not needed. No, we don't want that. Go. You understand what I'm saying?
100%.
You have Bobby Valentino. You know what I'm saying? You had many conscious rappers over there that made sure they did that. You had Proverb here who kept it clean. You know what I'm saying? It was difficult to keep it clean for Proverb. In a hip hop that was bubbling and was getting there and there and there and there. But Proverb chose that way. You had Pro. Wozuzo Babon. I mean, really. What must I say?
Yeah.
When you have Pro coming up like that. But to look for one single figure, I can't find it, at the top of my head to say, this is the person that really exemplifies things like that. I mean, your mischiefs, I can only go back to my past. Your mischiefs came with that, with consciousness. Your mischiefs came with that. The prophets of the city.
Wow.
Came with that, when they say, oh, finally, we've got a black president. But here are pressing issues, people, of the colored people. When is the hip hop's star going to come from the Khoi people in the Northern Cape?
As we sum up our conversation, Justice will let me know
Come on,
how far we are. Branims, the current political situation, let me say the state of the country, because we cannot talk about the state of the country, South Africa, without looking at politicians.
Of course not.
What are your thoughts? Do you think politicians can take this country forward?
It is up to them.
Not up to us?
It is up to them to follow the will of the people. Politicians back in the day were fueled by the will of the people. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Masithi azikhwela iqale kithi.
Yes.
Masithi azikhwelwa. When you look at the women who marched, and there's a lady that's holding a placard that says, "Free our leaders." There was a consciousness from our people where our leaders fed from and said, yes, this is what we do for our leaders. One such would be Chris Hani. You know what I'm saying? One such would be Bantu Stephen Biko. One such would be Robert Sobukwe. You know what I mean? Who understood that it is the people. It is by the people, for the people, and of the people. Remove these three. It's for me. It's for the nice estate that I'm staying in at Stain City. It's for look at the arrogance of what happened when they beat up the guy because ba mo rasetsa ka dikoloi tsa bona ba mo nearly chucked off the road.
Yeah.
Like that guy was useless, had no constitutional right.
Yeah.
For them to be brought into court, that was beautiful. Because who do you think you are? We the people. We the people. But now we have found a comfort zone as leaders, isn't it? The mandate is lost.
Yeah.
The enemy was clearly defined back then. The enemy was clearly defined. That's why we would go to war. But now, I'm cushy at Franschhoek. I'm cushy there. I'm cushy there. I'm cushy there. And you know what? I'm going to come again with food parcels.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give you this and this and this. I love you. Hey, we're going to get you water. Man, this is the natural resource that I must get. You're not doing me a favor. Oh, the toilets are going to flush. What are you talking about? This is a human right.
It has to.
It has to. I have to do this. Oh, let's think. This amount of. These are women that bore men who fought for your country, who died, women who lost their children. Now you're going to pussyfoot about what you give them after they've given 60 years, 65 years to this land. You're going to pussyfooty and you're going to call it, oh, we don't want it to be a nanny state. Nanny state. Our grandmothers were killed. Our grandfathers were killed. Some of us don't know our uncles. You know the trenches you come from.
Yeah.
You know how the enemy was bad to you. But now, look at me. I'm the king of Zamunda. Akir.
Do you think... Okay, let me put it this way. In your view, what happened to black people that we have come to this state of affairs that we're talking about, from churches to business to spirituality?
We lost our sense of self and our sense of godliness and our divinity as why we are created in this world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We have lost that. We have lost that. We have lost how beautiful we are, how purposeful we are, how our very existence is an act of defiance. We have lost it in the corporate environment. We have lost it in the entertainment industry. We have lost it in the soccer fraternity. We have lost it everywhere where we are. Because then it's nice to sit at the table of the master. Ngizoze ngifike nini mina at this estate if I have to pay you the right price? Can you believe in a country where children died? I cannot have an opinion in the industry that I've served, or this is wrong, because then, oh no, Nims is talking. We gotta shut down Nims. We gotta shut down Nims. He ain't gonna get no jobs now. Why is Nims making noise? In a country where we fought to speak, to be heard, to be human, to be treated like human beings. Ke ba reketse di biscuit, mos di actors se di batlang. A ke re go na le di biscuit. Le re coffee teng mo. And then we come and thank you for the opportunity ya go tlhaela TV. I'm not ruled by that, and not ruled by my tummy, not ruled by a tyrant. I will not be ruled by a tyrant. I'm young. I could suffer. I'm young. But you will not rule me. You will not dangle money in front of me because I don't have it. You will not dangle it because I have it. You know, I know my relationship with money, but my kindness to people around this country will never leave me poor.
But how do you build that spirit, particularly in young people? And Branims, you are 100%. How do we build this spirit in a world where a carrot is being dangled? You forget the mission and you focus on your tummy.
You look at the
It's
reaction.
more about connections, about the excellence and the craft, the artist in you.
Look, I won't negate that your gift is the one that's supposed to bring something home. I won't negate that, because it starts like everything starts with lack to overcome lack. Then you put systems to overcome the less of the situation you're in. But once you are there, remember what the plan was. Kuneyikhubekiso eyikhona endleleni that will make you forget.
How do you build that spirit? How do you instill
if you have a teachable mind, if you will listen to what I say, to what this person says who has gone through the industry, if you have a teachable spirit, but if you are an ego spirit, if you are the new famous guy, you will not listen to me, because I'm asking you to let go of the trappings that you have found. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you are willing to listen and use your influence to push a particular agenda that will benefit us all, why not? It is for this reason you were designed. That's why when the fault happens, it has to destroy an entire thing, because your existence has been useless. You know?
Yeah.
You have Goliath. The mission was simple.
Yeah.
The mission was simple. Look at you now. You ain't got eyes, right? You didn't have to die.
Yeah.
You didn't have to. But look, I'm sorry. I'll take as many with me as possible. I failed you. But I'll take as many of them as possible.
Speechless. It's how you make me feel.
Hey,
Jackson.
hey,
Branims, literally, I went 360 with you, and I can still go more.
Oh man,
career to religion, to hip hop, to every.
Go.
Please come back to the show. Come back on the show.
It will be a pleasure.
And now as I'm talking to you, I can literally go 360 with you. I can say, let's talk sports. Let's talk soccer. Let's talk this. And you will still bring that high level of consciousness into it.
We can do that. You know what I'm saying? And it's a pleasure for me to, at my, and I'm not old, you know, but
no, you know,
at the work that I've put in, that the younger generation recognize and they want to have a sit down. You know what I'm saying? That's why when a white man like Eminem, who could not sing or rap that song, the only person he wrote it for was Dre. Things just ain't the same for gangster.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Please come back to the show, sir.
To be a pleasure.
And
then now I'm not the type of guy, hey, keep busy.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm doing this. I'm phoning this person. I'm not that guy. I don't live that lie. If there is time, you tell me in time. I drive and I come here and I serve my purpose.
Thank you very much. We need more of these conversations, sir, as a society. I'm so grateful and the team is so grateful. Thank you for coming to the show.
No, the light is beautiful. You know, today is wonderful. We shared knowledge. Yeah. You know, you made me grow by making me dig deeper into the sense of who I am. You know, and the impartation, when you receive it, also increases you and challenges you in your other areas that you thought maybe you were lacking in or you took for granted. You know what I mean? This has been a victory for the light.
Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary, the iconic, enigmatic, colossal Nimrod Nkosi. Thank you very much. That's how we come to the end of the show. Please make sure that you subscribe to the channel on YouTube. CEMEX Network is the only way that we can bring you such high-level conversations. My name is CEMEX. Kamako.